The last thing to say about homeostasis is that different places inside the body can have different set points, even for the same parameter. This is possible due to compartmentalization, which is when we're keeping different parts of the body chemically or physically separate from one another. So, for example, the pressure environment surrounding your heart or lungs is different than the pressure environment inside of your abdominal cavity. Later on in the course, we'll talk about how the concentrations of chemicals and ions in your bloodstream is different than the concentration inside of cells and tissues, and that's critical for the function of the tissues. Your stomach is acidic. It produces hydrochloric acid that has a pH of about 2. It's capable of etching cement. So if other tissues inside your body had a pH of 2, they would very quickly be destroyed. Even temperature set points are compartmentalized. Sperm production inside the male testes is temperature sensitive, and sperm viability is decreased at higher temperatures, even at your normal body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. So this is the reason why the male testes are located outside the body, and why there's a muscle that has the job of repositioning the scrotum in response to warm and cold temperatures. This is also why there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories about whether you should have hot tub parties or wear tight-fitting underwear if you're trying to get pregnant. But that's a story for another video. Even cells can be compartmentalized. The cell is surrounded by the plasma membrane, and all of the organelles inside of the cell are also surrounded by membranes. And that allows compartmentalization even within the cell for concentrations of chemicals and ions, or even things like pH and enzymes. So we'll see a lot more about that a little bit later in the course. The last thing I want to mention is that body fluids are also compartmentalized. So intracellular fluid is the fluid that's inside of the cells. In other words, it's the cytosol. Intracellular fluid makes up the majority of the fluid inside of your body. About 2/3 of the fluid inside of your body is located in the cytosol because you have a lot of cells. Extracellular fluid is the fluid that's located outside of cells. And in humans, extracellular fluid consists of the plasma, which is the liquid fraction of blood, and also the interstitial fluid, which is the fluid that surrounds our cells. All of our cells are bathed and living in a fluid-filled environment. And it also includes other fluids, like, for example, intraocular fluid, or the fluid that's inside of your eye. Of those extracellular fluids, the interstitial fluid makes up the greatest proportion, followed by the plasma, and then those other fluids, like the intraocular fluid.